There could be multiple blockchains that launch, and it's up to the people who launch the chains to figure out how to import the genesis that they want and distribute the tokens how they like. And block producers stand to make a lot of money, because if you had a blockchain worth $100 billion like Ethereum, the 20 block producers, even if they take just 1% of the inflation, are looking at $1 billion, sorry, $1 billion, 1% of 100 million. $1 billion a year divided by 20 people is $50 million per producer. And that's a lot of money to operate a network. There's a lot of profit opportunity there. There's a lot of influence and prestige that comes along with being a block producer. You have more direct control. The block producers actually vote amongst themselves for what their rate is, and it comes out of the 5%.
The tokens you vote are locked up for the duration of the vote.
So how long is that?
6 months.
Okay, so here's my question, because this is the whole problem with all that, in my mind, a lot of this proof of stake. Essentially what it becomes is, it's not proof of stake, but it's proof of wealth. Because ultimately what you're saying to people is the more that you can afford to lock up, which means the more money that you're confident you'll never need for this entire 6 months. So that's not just wealth, but that's a heightened sense of wealth. You're rewarding that, and then it just becomes whoever has the most money has the most votes, no?
They have the most votes, but they're not getting any income from those votes.
I'm not saying that, but then, well, that's not true, because what you said is if you vote for a winning, you just mentioned previously that in the answer before, that if you become an elected one of these, block awarders or whatever term you use, then ultimately you will get a money return. So what you can do is you can do an exchange, and I understand this is how democracy.
You could vote for yourself. Yeah, you could buy, 5 to 10% of the outstanding tokens and lock them all up.
Correct.
Or a bunch of them, and vote for yourself.
So then how does it not become proof of wealth as opposed to proof of stake? In that example.
You could choose to see it that way, I suppose. What, you have a point?